You're listening to the Drummer Daily Podcast, the only daily podcast dedicated just to drummers. Go to my website at danielhadaway.com. Hey, welcome back again to Drummer Daily. Thanks for joining me. I am so excited today because I finally get to announce something. It feels like 30 things 30 things in the works for 2017, and I've had to kind of keep so many of them under wraps, and I still have to keep some of them under wraps, but there's one thing that I'm finally ready to announce. I promised I would announce it in January, and I think I'm making it under the line here and getting it out in January. So I'm so excited about that. So as I'm announcing this, I want to kind of explain to you where this came from. So I have come in contact through doing Boom Click Bootcamp and doing this podcast and my newsletter. I've been able to hang out with thousands of you in some way in the community that we've built around just drummers who have this certain kind of way of pursuing drumming that I talk about. Is just awesome, and I've gotten so many emails from you, getting comments on social media, Facebook, comments on YouTube videos, just everything, and it's been so cool to I don't get a ton of comments that are like, oh, you're great, love your playing. It's been people saying, hey, thanks for what you're doing as far as providing content maybe, and then I have a question. This or that, can you help me with this? And I love those kinds of questions, and I respond to every single one of them. And what I've learned though through doing that is there's been a couple of recurring themes in what people are asking me for. And this year my goal is to provide better solutions for you in those specific areas, because I realize these are probably the most important kind of hot button issues that we're dealing with as drummers. So the first part of that was I've had a lot of drummers who have said, hey, I am very serious about becoming either a studio drummer, a live touring drummer, or I am just very serious about being the best drummer that I can be. I want to do whatever it takes to get there. The problem is that I am aware that, especially for studio playing, the problem is, well, I can't get anyone to hire me because I haven't played on anything, and I've never been in a studio before, so I don't even know what that's like, so I'm kind of scared to do that. I don't have any studio experience, so I can't say that I have, and I just don't know if I have what it takes, or I think I might have what it takes, but I just don't know the right people, I don't have the right experience, all of that. So that's kind of one part. The other part is a lot of people said, hey, I really want like one-on-one in-person training with you, talking about me. They would love to hang out and in person really work hands-on drumming, playing, getting better at becoming a professional drummer or developing habits and techniques for playing that professional drummers have. So I've created something that I think is going to be life-changing, and it is a 2-day in-person drumming intensive. Now, what is a drumming intensive? Well, the basic idea of it, and I've alluded to this in a previous podcast, but I've got the details ironed out now, are that you will come to Nashville, Tennessee, where I live, and we will spend 2 days one-on-one, you and me, working on your drumming. But then the cool thing about it is that we'll spend a lot of time working on your specific needs around your technique, playing with a click, drumming with dynamics, playing more consistently in the studio, tuning drums, how to interact with other people in the studio, what to expect inside of a professional drum session. Basically anything that you need in your playing or your knowledge, we'll do that all in person. But the cool thing about day one is that it all will take place in a professional studio. Not just any studio, but it'll be at the Creek Recording Studio, which is the studio that we recorded the last All Sons and Daughters record in, and also many other records. Tons of other people have recorded there. It's got a lot of history, and we will be working in that studio on day one, me and you, one-on-one with your playing, just me and you, hammering it out, figuring it out. But day one, you'll leave, and you'll have a written out plan for areas of improvement you can work on, but you'll also, most importantly, be prepared for day two of the intensive. Now, day two of the intensive, again, will be at the Creek Studio, which is a full, professional, fully equipped, legit studio here in Nashville. Day two will be a recording session at the Creek. What will that mean? It'll be a full tracking session. We will have a recorded session that is ready to go, that sounds just like it'll be when we bring a drummer in, or a drummer comes into a session to track drums on a session. It'll be a real tracking session in a real studio, the Creek, most likely, unless it's not available, we'll rent another studio. We'll have a mix engineer there running the session. We'll have a producer running the session, just like a real professional tracking session. So you'll have literally it's full immersion in recording a legit song as a drummer, as a professional session drummer. Of course, I'll be there to help you and coach you and facilitate kind of understanding when a producer asks for something. Here's what's happening, here's what they mean, kind of basically to kind of guide you through the process, but help you understand kind of this is what it's like, this is what the schedule's like, this is kind of what's expected. So it'll kind of be like full immersion in doing a real life drum tracking session, but you won't have to be alone, and you won't have all the pressure of feeling like you're just being thrown to the wolves. I'll be there with you. As part of this day two session, we'll also have plenty of time throughout the session for you to ask questions. You can mess up as much as you need to without any pressure. You'll have plenty of time to fully understand how a complete normal studio session works. And then, of course, at the end of day two and the end of this intensive, you'll leave not only with real world legit studio experience, so that you can now go to producers in your town, or mix engineers, or anywhere else you want to. You can say, hey, I have actually done drumming in a studio before, a legit studio. I have experience as a session drummer. But you'll also leave with a fully mixed and produced song that features you on the drums, so you can leverage that into more studio and live gig work in your town, wherever you are. Or if you want to do remote tracking, whatever you want to do, you can leverage what you've got. You can say, here is something I've played on. It'll be fully mixed, so it won't be like some crappy basement recording or whatever. It'll be a legit recording from a real studio. But then you don't have to worry anymore about asking the question, like, how can I get someone to hire me for my first session if I don't have any previous work to show them? You can get basically invaluable training and real world studio experience, and also one-on-one time where I help you with your drumming. You'll get that in 2 days here in Nashville. Now, how can you become a part of this? Well, there's a couple of steps to the process. The first thing is this: I'm not looking for hobbyists. I don't want people to come do this if you're just having a good time, playing drums as a hobby. This is not for you. This is only for you if you are serious about making a career out of drumming, or you are just serious about your craft as a drummer and you want studio experience and one-on-one training to be a part of that. So this is not for everybody. So that's part of it. The other part is that, it's in Nashville, so we'll schedule time. But the good thing is this is one-on-one. So what that means is, if you want to do this, we will work together to schedule a time that works for your schedule. This is not group training. You're not going to show up and have 10 other guys in a crowd with you and having to play in front of a bunch of strangers. This is just going to be you and me for each of these. And so we can schedule it around your schedule. The third thing, and this is probably the most important thing, is that I am only doing 10 of these in all of 2017. And the other part of that is I've already got 6 of these spoken for as I'm recording this 6. There might be more by the time you hear this or find this, but 6 of these have been spoken for. That I've actually had people, when I previously mentioned this in another podcast episode, I said, this is something that kind of sounds like what you're interested in. I had dozens of people email me and say, yes, I want to know more about this. And I've already got 6 of those locked in. So I just want you to know that that if this is something that you want to do, you probably need to be decisive, because I literally just can't do more than 10 of these this year because the studio is not available that often. I can find other studios, but I want it to be consistent in a studio that I know really well. The other thing is though, is that I simply can't do, these require so much energy, and you really do get all of my attention for 2 days. It's a very intense process that provides life-changing value for you, but it requires a lot of energy from me, and I just simply can't commit to doing more than 10 of these. So there's only 10 slots. 6 of them are taken right now. So how can you get involved? Well, what you need to do right now, if you want to be involved in this and do one of these intensives, or at least learn more about it and get involved, go to drumintensive.com. And there you'll see a little more info, a written out description of what this is. You'll also have a link to apply. Now, I do an application because I want to make sure that you're serious. It's not a lot of questions. I'm not going to ask you for your last 4 addresses of residence or anything like that. It's just a few questions, but there is an application because I want to make sure that you're serious and that it's not just, maybe this will be fun. And so that's the process. Go to drumintensive.com, click the apply button, put your email address in, and then you'll move on to the application. It's just a few questions, and that's the start of the process. And I hope that you can do this if this is something that's useful for you. The other thing is, this is not inexpensive. This is not a cheap program for people who are not serious. This is expensive for 2 reasons. One is that I want people who are serious. I don't want people who are gonna spend $50 on this and then never use it. I want people who are serious about this. The other thing is that it is very expensive to book studio time and to hire engineers and producers and create all of this for you. And there's a lot of cost involved in this. But I want to do it right. So if you want a legit studio experience, head over to drumintensive.com. I hope this is something that you can get involved with, or share this with someone if you know someone who's serious about being a pro drummer. But like I said, there's only 10 slots. 6 are gone right now. So if you're interested at all, please head over to drumintensive.com and go ahead and apply so that we can get started on this. All right, I'm so excited about this. People have been asking for this, and I'm so happy to provide this for you. And hopefully I'll get a chance to see you soon in Nashville, one-on-one in the studio recording drums. All right, talk to you again soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye.